Hello, this is Vocabulary Unit number 16. Our first word or term is carte blanche. After entering the uncharted forest, Prometheus received carte blanche and could do whatever he wanted. And we have an image here sort of representing Prometheus entering the forest and breaking those chains. If you have carte blanche, you have unconditional authority or full power to do whatever you want. That part of speech would be a noun. It would be something that you possess or own. Quell is our next word. Take a look at our image there. The police had to fire shots and use tear gas in order to quell the violent protest. If you are trying to quell something, what are you attempting to do? To put down, to quiet, or to suppress. And by now we should know that when you use the word to make an infinitive, you have a verb, and that's exactly what quell is, a verb. Finite. People are limiting their use of fossil fuels due to its finite supply. Take a look at the guy here. This is an editorial cartoon representing an oil supply and it's running out. So finite would be the opposite of infinite. Therefore, it has limited boundaries. Look at how it's used here. What kind of supply? It's modifying the noun supply. Finite is an adjective. Our next word is myopic. We have an image here of glasses and what looks like an eyeglass test. It was quite myopic of her to leave her car after it broke down in this frigid weather. Your car breaks down in the winter in a snowstorm, don't leave your car. But if you do so, you are being nearsighted or short-sighted, not thought out. Another way of putting it is you can only see what's directly in front of you. So being myopic describes a person who is short-sighted and not thinking things out. It also describes the medical condition of your eyes. And the noun form or the actual condition is right here in our image. Myopia would be the noun. Your myopia was preventing you from seeing things clearly. Myopic would describe the person, therefore an adjective. Prolific. Lionel Messi is one of the most prolific goal scorers of all time. If you know anything about soccer or football, international, you know that Lionel Messi is scores a lot of goals. And we have another image down here representing many different things. Prolific means producing great quantities. If you are a prolific writer like Stephen King, you produce great quantities of writing, of works, of publications. And he has published over 100 books. So he is very prolific. That would be an adjective. What kind of scorer was he? He was a prolific scorer. Admonish is our next word. Admonish. My mother sent me a text as an admonishment to look out for icy roads when I drove home. And we have here a little sign that says ice. What is that sign doing? What is your mom doing when she texts you and says, look out for the roads, they might be icy, there's weather coming in? She or they are warning you, they are cautioning you, they are trying to advise you of a correct or appropriate course of action. We've used the word two different ways here. What your mom is doing, well, we have the infinitive here, to warn, to admonish. So admonish is a verb, it's something that you do. But we've used a different form in the sentence. We've put this We have two little clues here. One is this suffix ment. We also have an article in front of it, and we know articles serve one purpose in the English language, or any language for that matter, and that is to introduce nouns. So admonishment is the noun. Repudiate. Repudiate. Columbus discovered America. Not. And then we have a king here saying treason, talking to a cat sitting on his throne. Fluffy repudiated his owner's sovereignty and declared himself the king. He rejected the king. He rejected his king's sovereignty. Many historians reject the notion that Columbus discovered anything that was already here and fully populated. Repudiate, to reject, to refuse, that is a verb. Umbrage. Umbrage. We've got an image here of a guy sticking his hand out, holding his face up, doesn't like something, and then we have this graph here that says, no offense, but, and the entire pie chart is filled in with something offensive. This is apropos because my daughter has recently started to tell me, no offense, Dad, but, and I'll cut her off and I'll say, you realize that anything you say after no offense is offensive. Take a look at this sentence. It's quite hard not to take umbrage after someone says no offense. They mean the same thing. To take umbrage is to take offense at something. That's a noun. We have taint. The presidential candidate was tainted by rumors of corruption and campaign finance fraud. What would that do to his reputation if someone was accusing him or talking about corruption and fraud? To smear, corrupt, or poison. Yeah, to taint something is to make it unpure or less than pure. Corrupt it with some sort of corrosive agent, or to poison. This cheeseburger, we have this little atomic symbol here. This cheeseburger has been tainted or poisoned or made less than pure. Macabre is our next word. It also can be pronounced macabre, so you'll see it both ways. I like macabre, but if you do say macabre, you're not wrong. We got a picture of a bunch of zombies here and Michael Jackson from his famous video Thriller. Word had spread that the zombie movie used some shockingly macabre scenes. And a zombie movie, this is a good example of something that is macabre. Gruesome, ghastly, and horrifying. It is an adjective, and we are making fun of Miley Cyrus yet again. Sanction. The judge sanctioned the mother's full-time custody of her child. This means to authorize, to approve, or to allow. There are other definitions for sanction. The one we are using is the one that means to approve or allow. So I have sanctioned your actions. The teacher sanctioned your decision to change your topic on your paper. Judges sanction decisions and actions. Inhibition. Bart was a loud, outgoing person, but he felt a sense of inhibition and restrained himself in court. So we have here an artist's rendition of the Supreme Court of the United States, which would be a good place to show some inhibition. Another metaphor would be we have the on-off switch here. Your inhibition is your restraint. It is your suppression of your behavior. It is that part of you that tells you not to blurt out or be wild or even show aspects of your personality to people who don't really know you. Your inhibition is your off switch. We have fleece. Guy needs tickets, and we got this shady fellow over here with money coming out of his pockets. Alex was fleeced by a shady man who sold him fake tickets to the Super Bowl. He was fleeced. Fake tickets, not good. To rip off, defraud, to cheat is to fleece. This phrase is pronounced vis-a-vis. Vis-a-vis. What are these two people doing? Vis-a-vis communication is becoming rarer every day with the rise of social media. So if I'm on my phone and I can talk to you in my phone, I don't need to be face to face. Picture's a little misleading because even though they're on their phones, they're still face to face. They're still vis-a-vis. Now with vis-a-vis, I have many different, or I have several parts of speech listed here. This is a very flexible word. This word has some dexterity to it. It can be used in a variety of ways. If you are saying that they are sitting vis-a-vis, they are sitting face to face, that's modifying a verb, sitting. It's an adverb. How are they sitting? Vis-a-vis. It can be an adjective. They had a vis-a-vis conversation. What kind of conversation? That's an adjective, vis-a-vis. It can be a preposition. We were vis-a-vis the painting. That's like saying next to, across from, by, near, vis-a-vis the painting. That's a preposition telling location. And it can also be a noun. It can actually refer to a person. She was a vis-a-vis, or we had a vis-a-vis, meaning a face-to-face conversation. So just be aware of that if you use that word. Take a look at how you're using it in your sentence. Ascribe. NFL quarterback Russell Wilson ascribes much of his current success to his father's inspiration. This is to attribute or to give credit to. To ascribe. Archives. The government looked through the company's archives in a laundering investigation. Look at this long hallway of boxes. What do those look like? Those are records. More specifically, records of history are archives. That is a noun. It can also be used as a verb. It's something you do. We attempted to archive all of the records of that civilization. So it's something you can do, but once you have the records and they are boxes and they become archives, that's a thing, that's a noun. Grouse. After staying up all night to complete his assignment, Phil decided to grouse to his teacher about it. Take a look at that image. What is he doing? He's not happy about this super long assignment. He is complaining. To grouse is to complain. If you're wondering what part of speech this is, I'm not going to tell you because you've given the clue. We have the clue here with the word to. It's an infinitive. It's something Phil is doing. Euthanasia. Monica was a believer in euthanasia, so she preferred to put her dog down instead of letting it suffer through surgery at such an old age. Bonus point for missing the word it here, the typo. Anyway, back to the word at hand. Euthanasia, putting her dog down, that is a euphemism, not to be confused with another word using that root youth. A euphemism is a nicer way of saying something kind of harsh. The harsh reality here is that the dog Fluffy here is very old and sick, and we're going to kill it. It's a mercy killing. That is what euthanasia is. which is again is a euphemism. All right, thank you very much for taking your good notes for vocabulary week 16.